Hey there, it's April Perry from Learn, Do, Become Radio. Welcome. Today we're talking about where to keep the big stuff that you need to work on, meaning the physical, tangible objects that are waiting for your attention. A great question came into the Learn, Do, Become community Facebook group that anyone can join, so you can check it out. Go to our Connect page, learndobecome.com/connect. You can find a link to that and all the other resources we have for you. But this question came in, I thought it would be a helpful topic for the podcast. Joanne asked this. I have been wondering where in my Command Central to put things since we're not supposed to use objects as reminders. Where do you put returns? Where do you put an item such as a stuffed animal that needs to be fixed? Where do you put a photo album that needs to be worked on but is not a current project? Do these items stay in the inbox? From the podcast, I read about the errand resource box. This was a recent podcast that we'd posted. That could be placed in or near the garage for the returns. What a fantastic idea. Does anyone have any suggestions where to place the other types of items that are waiting but don't belong in your inbox or Command Central? Or maybe they do belong there? And then she shared Learn to Become is amazing. So thank you for this great question, Joanne, and for participating there. So I just responded with a quick one-liner and said, the quick answer is that you'll want a shelf or box or area for larger items that are essentially support materials. Kind of like the cubbies, but appropriate for the size of your items. And then I linked to a video we have on YouTube called Your New Paper Pile Solution. You can just search Learn, Do, Become on YouTube and subscribe there for our channel. It's going to be growing more and more, so come subscribe if you haven't yet. And then she wrote, thank you so much for your help. I've been on a roll this week. I'm loving being free of clutter and beginning to see the other categories of my life. Oh, so good. All right, so after I responded, I just thought it might be helpful to dive a bit deeper into this. So I'm just sharing a few more principles that you may want to consider. All right, number one, please save yourself time and energy by not putting things back in the inbox. It's tempting to think, oh, I'm going to need this in a few days, so I'll just leave it here. But all that does is keep the item in circulation, which will need brain energy at some point. So instead, I recommend you process each item completely so it's in its final place, but it can come back to you when the time is right to act on it. Now, obviously, this is your decision. Some people might say, well, I really like keeping it in my inbox, April. If that is the case, that is totally your choice. I'm not going to police your inbox. But I do know that it has saved me so much brain space when you compound all the things that you might want to put back in your inbox. So I really do recommend you move it to its final place. That's going to be either like a support resource or, moving things into filing or wherever it's going to go. Okay, number two. Support materials can be both paper and physical items. So I want to expand on this a little bit. In the cubby video that I mentioned called Your Paper Pile Solution that we have on YouTube, I explain in that video how we can keep papers and small booklets and small items, like I have a little video showing our son's scout badges or like gift cards I keep in them. And I keep a lot of those little things inside my support cubbies. So if we do that, we can access them at the appropriate time, and that's great. But let's say you have larger items like painting supplies for a bathroom paint job or scrapbook materials or that stuffed animal that needs to be repaired or an item that needs to be super glued or things like that. So those are still technically support materials that go along with your current projects and or routines, but they won't fit in your cubbies or files. In those cases, there are several options, but the key is to make sure that when the time comes to work on a related task or project, you can locate that support item within seconds. I don't spend more than 5 seconds looking for something because it all has a landing spot and it's really easy to find. So for example, when we had all our children here at home, we used to have a to mend or fix basket in our laundry room. It included any toy or piece of clothing that needed attention. Now, my kids will tell you that I didn't go in there and fix things as often as probably they wanted, but I found when I put them there, most of the time no one missed it, so we just kind of kept moving on. But if you say, okay, I mend or fix things every, second Thursday or whatever, or when I feel like it, then at least you know where to find it. Or if you have to mend something by the 27th of this month because you need it on the 28th. Then you have the calendar trigger, right? For something like paint materials, right now we have a shelf in our basement that holds all of our paint cans, but then we have an area in the garage that holds all tools because all of our other tools are out there. So that's where we have things like brushes and rollers and plastic sheeting, etc. That's what works for us. Now you could say, well, you should keep all paint stuff all together, which we could, but right now we don't. Okay. Now, another one, if I were scrapbooking, or like a real example, right now I'm going through and scanning key pages of my mom's old journals. I just keep all of those materials in similar stacked bins, and I keep them in a place that makes the most sense. Right now, because I'm going through about one journal of my mom's each week, we have 2 bins, and I just keep them in a corner of my bedroom. I don't consider it clutter because that's where I read them, and it's an active current project. Now, if I decided, it's taking too much time, I want to move the project to sometime next year, so I'm not even going to work on it right now, I would put the bins out in the garage on a, farther away shelf. So you can just ask yourself, where does it make the most sense to keep this so I will be able to find it within seconds of when I'll need it? Okay, number 3, you'll want to keep current and someday project support materials in the locations that make the most sense. So the question was asked, where do you put a photo album that needs to be worked on but is not a current project? So we're actually going through this right now. We have a couple of albums that we want to scan, but now is not the time. So they are tucked away deep in a closet. The albums that are current are out near the scanner. So we had them just sitting on this extra desk, just the scanner and the albums, and everything was out. However, our son, Spencer, has taken a little break from scanning. He's been our scanning guy and has gotten all these albums totally scanned. It's been awesome. But school started and he has some other projects and activities he's doing. So before he does any more scanning, I actually want to review the ones he's already scanned. I want to talk with my siblings about what they want to do with actual photos that our dad took, because my dad did all the photo taking and album creation growing up. So we have 25, 30 albums of his. But I want to talk with my siblings saying, well, what do we do with these? Do you guys want the original pictures? Do you want albums? Do you want me to take all the pictures out and just give you ones of you? What are we doing? So I need to have that conversation with my siblings. And there's also those last couple albums we need to do. They're really tricky to take apart. It's like the ones that have the corners all put in, and once you take them all out, they're going to kind of be thrashed, which is fine if we don't need the actual album. So anyway, that's what we're going through. So I have the project on a next in line list. So the written reminder is in my system, in my Command Central. But I took that scanner and album, and instead of just leaving them out on the desk, we just put them away so they're not just out on a flat surface, causing the flat surface disease. Because if I leave everything out, then every time I see it, even if I don't have to do anything about it, I'm going to be thinking about it and processing and saying, wait, do I need to do something? Oh, no, I don't. And I know that sounds so silly, like April, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a scanner and an album. But for my mind, I just found that when I have clear space and I have things put away and I have it noted on my next in line projects list, my brain just relaxes more. And then I have the capacity to do more creatively, and I feel just more excited, and it just doesn't weigh me down. So the essence of this is that when we learn how to only keep out the project materials that we're actually using at the moment, and then we put everything else into a logical place that won't weigh on our minds, something magical happens. We feel more focused and more clear-headed and calm and content. And we recognize that we really are getting a lot of work done, but these other things don't need to weigh on us. And it feels amazing. So I would love for you to try it out. Let me know how it goes. It's these kinds of little tips and tricks that no one ever teaches us. But once we learn them and we start putting them into practice, it's just amazing how much it frees our minds. And that's my goal. I want you not to feel overwhelmed. I want you to have some simple systems so you can focus on the things that matter most. So hopefully today, as we talked about where to keep that big stuff, it gave you some ideas as you're looking around, your home or your office, and you're seeing big piles of things that need your attention. Maybe there's some things you can put onto a shelf or some things you could put out in a storage area. But don't worry, it's not out of sight, out of mind, as long as you have that project or task or routine recorded inside your Command Central. And if you're wondering, well, what is a Command Central and how do I build one? Make sure that you come to our website at Learn Do Become. If you just start at the Connect page, learndobecome.com/connect, that's where you can find our free class, How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles. You can find our YouTube channel, more on how to subscribe to the podcast, and the free Facebook group. And we've got lots of support for you. We love you. Okay, before I close up, I'm just going to play another little section from our reunion call we had from 4 Weeks to Finished, where we asked our members what advice they would give to you if you were interested in building your STEP Command Central and you wanted to work with Learn Do Become and you wanted to build it in 4 weeks. We'd love to have you for our next session starting September 1st. So I will turn the time over to one of our amazing members, and I'll be back at the end.
Okay, Jody.
I kind of don't know where to begin, but I was pretty frightened about signing up. I had signed up for STEP 2 years ago, and I had done just enough to know that this works.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had the whatever to get it done.
Yeah.
So signing up for the class, I mean, I have to say the support is mind-boggling. You guys, it's so clear that you care deeply. B, there's so much support, all your team members, and there's all these answers happening while we're on the video, and one time, like, Jill called me from her car, and left a message on Vimeo or whatever with an answer to the question that didn't get answered, and I've never for a moment felt like I couldn't get an answer questioned. The support is totally amazing. So
I'm so happy.
And then I want to say, if you do this, definitely do the accountability partner. Just having somebody, we don't do anything fancy, but to just check in once a day with a text message and say, how are you doing? What are you doing with STEP today? Or are you taking a day off? But just, it's really helpful.
Wonderful.
It's been very helpful for me. I don't have this perfected, but I keep saying to my accountability partner, I have the tools. And when I'm feeling like, I'm kind of behind or whatever, I don't know. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can do this. And so the biggest change for me has been little things I'm having time for writing that note to the neighbor next door who's going off to college that I wanted to say congratulations and blah, blah, blah. And all that little stuff used to fall through the cracks before. I wouldn't get Christmas cards done because I was always stressed and I never knew what to do next. And now it makes sense. Like, this program it works.
Okay, I'm totally crying here listening to you, thinking about these beautiful notes you're writing or the things you're able to do and connecting with people, because I could just see you that you just have so much love for other people and you're so thoughtful, and now you have this outlet for it. I mean, that it just brings tears to my eyes, because I'm just thinking, like, your influence, you have a unique way to influence the person next door to you that none of us have. We don't know that person. We wouldn't even know what to say. And you do, because you're right there. And then I love.
Yeah, I just didn't have the time. I felt so stressed before that I never breathed to take the time to do all those important little things. And now they're just happening naturally. And it feels amazing. So
it's so good. And then one other thing I want to comment on that you said that I just loved was when you said, even if you feel overwhelmed, you have the tools and you could do it if you wanted. And that is the opposite of learned helplessness. And so, like, I was studying learned helplessness a couple of years ago. One of the things that was fascinating about it is a lot of times when you see someone who's just, let's say they have piles of stuff in their house, or they feel overwhelmed by finances or whatever it is. If they have tried something and put a lot of energy into it and then it didn't work, and then they try something else and it doesn't work, and they try something else and it doesn't work, pretty soon they just stop trying, because they're like, our bodies are made to conserve energy. So if you think, well, why would I put myself through trying to do something if it's not going to work? Like, I'll just sit here and just sit in it. It's better than being disappointed. But what you're sharing is that you don't have to just sit in overwhelm. Like if you want to, you can, but you have a choice now. You have tools, you can get out. And that's a beautiful thing, because there's no one who's coming in to make sure everyone's emails are at 0, and we're not doing the white glove test in your bedroom and looking for dust or whatever. Like, that's not what this is about. It's not about having the perfect house and the perfect system and the perfect thing. It's about you being able to make that choice. So when you wake up in the morning, if you're tired and you need a break, you say, okay, today I'm choosing to take a break. I liked how you said that with your accountability partner. Hey, are you doing something with Steph? Or are you taking a day off? Because we're all adults and we can take a day off if we want. And that's beautiful. But you also have now, like, every day you're at choice instead of being a victim of circumstance. And that right there, like, that's world changing right there. That's life changing for you, for the people you love, for the people you're going to influence. You can be an encourager, a true encourager, because there's a way out. And it's not just like, oh, you'll be fine. It's like, well, if you want to do this, you'll be better. And it's fantastic. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. That was fantastic.
I love the hope and energy that I feel every time I listen to our members. It's amazing, because so often I felt like I just talked to a computer. When I actually get to hear what's happening on the other side, it is just heartwarming and exciting and empowering. And I hope that you feel likewise. If you are interested in 4 Weeks to Finished, come to learndobecome.com/4 weeks. That's the number 4, WEEKS. All of the things I talked about today are on our show notes page, learndobecome.com/episode 157. All right, sending lots of love. Thanks for being here with us at learndobecome.com.